Hey guys, welcome to this upper body session that I'm doing for you guys today. So I've just started a new routine and I'm starting an upper body session and lower body session 4 times a week. So upper body twice a week, lower body twice a week. So starting off today with some incline dumbbell press. Recently I've dropped the weight down a little bit and I'm really focusing on getting that mind muscle connection. So really focusing on the stretch here and the squeeze, trying to not spend too long at the top of the motion but still trying to squeeze those pecs as I do it. Really thinking about punching the dumbbells up to the ceiling but trying to bring the bicep, so the upper arm, across the body to shorten the pec as much as I can. Went for 3 sets of 10 reps here. Next up is an exercise that I call a rugby scrum row. So it's kind of a dead stop row where the dumbbell's going to touch the floor each time, but we get ourselves into kind of like a rugby scrum position. This exercise is really good. I find it has a massive sort of overlap effect. So apart from just working the back and biceps and obviously your forearms for your grip strength, you're also going to get a nice core workout from having to hold that position, and also the shoulder on the other side is going to work as a stabilizing muscle. Again, I went for 3 sets of 10, so it's just going all the way down, letting the dumbbell stop on the floor, but then really focusing on getting a nice big squeeze on the back. When you do this, if you have a go at it, guys, really think about trying to pull the dumbbell to the hip and really trying to pull and get those shoulder blades squeezing back. So you're really trying to sort of squeeze your scapula and squeeze your shoulder blade back rather than just pulling with your bicep. Otherwise you're going to get an awesome arm pump, but obviously you're not going to hit the back muscles, which is the aim of the exercise. Okay, so next up is my shoulder shocker. I've done a video on this before. So I went for 3 sets of 10 per every exercise. So the first exercise is a dumbbell lateral raise, really focusing on keeping the shoulder blades down and back so that we don't use the traps like most people do when they do lat raises, but instead we're thinking about taking the dumbbells nice and wide as well, so you're really going to hit that medial delt, that middle delt head that's going to give you that capped round deltoid. Then we shuffle forward and go into a reverse fly. So there are a couple of other versions. There's one by Joe DeFranco where he does it with a front raise, but for me I like to incorporate a reverse fly here. So 10 reps, just trying to go out nice and wide, keep the shoulders rounded forward and then trying to squeeze the rear delt at the top of the motion so we don't overly use the rhomboids but we use purely the rear delts. And the final exercise of the sequence for 10 reps again is a Cuban press. So it's an upright row, a external rotation of the shoulder, then there's a kind of like a mini half to 3/4 press, so not fully locking out, and then we just rotate back down. So this is really good for overall shoulder health, and once you've finished this circuit, after even 1 set, the shoulders will be absolutely pumped and you've pretty much hit every single fibre of your deltoids, your anterior, your posterior and your medial delts. Okay, so next I went into 3 sets of 20, I think I've done them as 24s, so it's 8 low to high cable chest flies, really trying to squeeze the pec at the top here, and so it's basically you do 8 of the low to high flies like I'm doing at the moment. You don't want to go too heavy on these guys, you really want to think about just squeezing the pecs and bringing those hands together at the top of the movement. Then once you've done 8 reps of the low to high, we just simply take the cables and shuffle them up to a height that's around about sort of mid-chest height. I kept mine a little bit lower because I still wanted to hit the upper pec fibers a little bit more, so I was still trying to keep it in the same sort of height position that I would have if I was doing like a fly for my upper pecs or an incline dumbbell press. So again, 8 reps here. Again, really trying to think about bringing that bicep, so that upper arm, across the body, and then straightening the arm as the hands come together, so that I can get my pec a little bit shorter. Some people do this with a little bit of a bend in the elbow, but I find if you punch the elbow through at the top, you actually get a shorter pec and a greater contraction. And then for the final 8 reps, it's simply all the way up to the top, and it's 8 high to low cable flies. So really focusing on going nice and high with the elbows when you go back, and getting a nice stretch across the pec, like so, and then driving those elbows together and trying to get those biceps to kind of meet, and really squeezing the pecs hard. Some people do this as chest 21s, 18s. Obviously you could do 6 of each, 7 of each. I did 8 of each today, just to get a little bit more blood into the muscle and hit all those pec fibers. So I've obviously not left a fiber untouched. Okay, back to back. Again, one of my favourite exercises, just a seated cable row with an overhand, not fully close, but kind of around about shoulder width, just a little bit wider than shoulder width grip. Really focusing here on squeezing the shoulder blade. So I set my phone at this angle for you guys, so you can really see that when you do a back exercise, you really need to get a nice big stretch, but then really focus on pulling with your shoulder blades, and your shoulders, they need to squeeze back. Too often I see people just pulling with their arms, and as they get to the full contracted position, their shoulders actually start to kind of internally rotate, because they're not pulling with their shoulder blades, they're pulling with their biceps. Okay guys, so one of my favourite tricep exercises now, an incline tricep extension behind the neck. This is really good for getting a massive stretch on the triceps. What you really want to focus is on the way down, keeping the elbows tucked in, and then really just trying to squeeze the bar right up to the top of the ceiling and squeezing those triceps hard. I hit 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps here, and obviously I forgot to tell you guys on my back exercise that I did on the last clip, it was 3 sets of 15 for my rows. So it's 3 sets of 15 for my rows, and this tricep exercise here was 3 sets of 10 to 12 that I did, trying to just go heavy, get a nice big stretch at the bottom, and then a nice big squeeze at the top. And my final exercise of my upper body session today was a fat grip incline hammer curls. So fat grips really good, have a massive kind of effect on getting a really good overlay effect on the forearms as well as the bicep. Kept it on an incline here to really work the long head of the muscle, and as you can see, nice big squeeze at the top. But also guys, when you do your bicep exercises, you really want to get a full stretch on the muscle. So you squeeze the tricep at the bottom of the motion to fully stretch the bicep, okay? And then obviously you're using that stretch mechanism to really get that weight back up to the top, but squeezing those biceps at the same time. So this here was again 3 sets of 10 to 12 fat grip hammer curls on an incline to finish my workout. And that is it. So I will catch you next time.